A lot going on in crypto. One question on my mind though, as I look at the Bitcoin charts, is Bitcoin finding its top just below $30,000, or is it simply consolidating very briefly before breaking through $30,000 and beyond? What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that subscribe and like. On the way in, let's jump into this Bitcoin video. This is Bitcoin on the hourly chart. We're going to break it down. This is a very important Bitcoin chart if you are tracking Bitcoin throughout the day. And I'm going to break it down. I want to just kind of go through a couple things. I showed this the other day. This is just simply plotting all the all-time highs broken up in $1,000 pieces that Bitcoin has broken in the last 2 weeks since this move on December 16th. Just over and over again, Bitcoin has just been breaking all-time highs. And are we getting ready to enter the $30,000 zone? And Bitcoin's only $500 away. What I see here though, and this is what I just wanted to just explain real quick. What I see illustrated here is a cushion. It's separation, not only from the bull market doors that are all the way down here in the 16,000s. We were looking for a little bit of separation from there, but we have a huge separation from that area. But we also just have separation from right here. Basically, the all-time high from 2017, we have separation. There's, simply put, room for consolidation before continuation. And I love when I see that on the Bitcoin macro charts. And if you zoom out on the daily chart, that's what we have. That is called a cushion. What you see there is so bullish on a macro level. It almost, when we're looking at the hourly chart, it's just kind of like, it's like night and day looking at these charts because they both mean two different things. So I wanted to point that out. The other thing is on the daily chart, I want to just note, and we're going to jump into the bullish case for Bitcoin because there are some bullish cases for Bitcoin. Want to note though, the 50-day moving average right here, the blue line, to where Bitcoin is right now, right around 40%, 41% overextended from that area. We know when Bitcoin gets to 30%, I just automatically always start talking about some type of consolidation. That's just how I've been rolling, right, on this YouTube channel. That's what I do over the years. You can just see last time Bitcoin had such overextension, we're talking 35% up to 37%. We had a little brief consolidation on this daily chart. You can actually move right here. This was also, probably right around 32%. So anytime Bitcoin is getting into that overextension area, I just simply always look for some type of consolidation. And this is that blue ocean, the 50 moving average illustrated now in this blue ocean. And this is historically, right? This is Bitcoin zoomed out on the chart. Here's the last bull market. Bitcoin, and I like it. This is just the way my mind thinks, like a dolphin, jumping out of the water, back in, out of the water, back in, on its way up to just hitting all-time highs. And that's healthy. That's what we want to see. Being pulled back to that 50-day moving average, not a bad thing. That doesn't mean right now the 50-day moving average, if you can see it on the chart, I'm going to zoom in here for you. That doesn't mean Bitcoin's coming down to $21,000. But if Bitcoin trades sideways, comes down 10%, it gives the 50-day moving average some time just to catch up, and Bitcoin meets it. Right? And you can just kind of see that. That's just what happens. You can see it happening here, right? Bitcoin meets it before continuation, meets it before continuation, almost meets it before continuation. Is that going to happen again? I anticipate these things. It's how I instill my own patience on these charts, because if I'm just always looking at the hourly chart, I'm like, let's go, make the big move, make the big move. I'll simply personally drive myself crazy. I don't know about you and how your mind works, but I can't do that. I have to zoom out on the chart, see what's up, see what's, what Bitcoin needs on the macro level to have a healthy, sustainable growth into more all-time highs. And that's what it looks like for me. But that doesn't mean that Bitcoin can't just continue to the upside and get 60% overextended, 70% overextended. It can. We've seen Bitcoin has just been like separating itself from previous trends as of lately. And here it is illustrated on the weekly charts. If you just zoom out on the weekly, you can see it happening, and you can open up the RSI. Bitcoin actually consolidated in overbought territory right here on the RSI. We've talked about it. And that's something that Bitcoin really has never done. So Bitcoin is surely doing things it's never done. So when you're talking about a daily overextension, this could continue. So be prepared for that as well. But that's why over the years, I've just said, be prepared for Bitcoin just going crazy so you can enjoy that ride. So let's jump into the hourly chart. Let's really dig into what's happening here. I want to start with a quick clip from yesterday. We see resistance up to around $29,000. Continued resistance at $29,000. That's the 786. To around $28,800. Continued resistance there. And Bitcoin touches this trend line again. We have a head and shoulders in play. And so this was a speculative head and shoulders we were tracking yesterday. It would look, basically something like this. Head, and then, well, I shouldn't go that high, but you get the point. Left shoulder, head. Here's that resistance area we're looking at. Right shoulder, boom. This is kind of what's bullish right now as I do this video for Bitcoin. So I want to chart that same Fibonacci that I charted yesterday. It was the swing high touch at the upper trend line to this lower trend line, swing low. And we weren't there yet, but you can just look at the clip on the video. We were just starting to touch that area as resistance. And we were anticipating, well, what if Bitcoin just fails there and sees resistance? And here we are. Look what Bitcoin did. Bitcoin broke above that Fibonacci retracement. And really since then, over and over again, has actually just tested that exact area for support now. That's exactly what we want to see. So short term, and this is the hourly chart, this is very short term. This is really transpiring like mostly today, a little bit of yesterday where we saw this support. This was very early today. Bullish sign for Bitcoin. But what I want to talk about is what's happening in terms of this rising channel that we see here. So this target's obviously moving up in terms of where Bitcoin is. And I didn't want to move any of this charting until I showed the clip from this video. So I'm going to start moving things around a little bit from yesterday's video. So this trend line, you can see we have this new touch at the lower trend line is exactly what we want to see for Bitcoin. And right now we can take this because we're kind of moving along here and we can just stretch it out. This is a ascending broadening wedge. It looks very much like a megaphone of sorts. One thing that you can see is there's becoming a large margin between the upper trend line, lower trend line. And so the climb is getting steeper for Bitcoin to break bullishly out of this area. Now, the other thing is this target is moving up as well. And we're talking right around $33,000 target as of now. So this is what I'm watching in terms of when we zoom in and really see what's going on. That head and shoulders that I were speculatively talking about, and this trend line should kind of go back to here, but basically we're looking at the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder fail, right? Boom. That didn't happen. And you can see we actually broke the swing high here of the head. So that entire head and shoulders scenario out the window because we put in a new high, right? But in doing that, we've created another potential head and shoulders, and this is what we're tracking. Now this previous head is a left shoulder. Here's our head, touch to the neckline, and now here's our speculative right shoulder. And we're almost in an identical spot as we were yesterday in terms of forming a right shoulder. So what we do is the same thing we did yesterday. This swing high, which wasn't a very strong swing high, I should add, right in the middle of this rising, ascending, broadening wedge, but swing high to this swing low, and you can see Bitcoin right now testing exact resistance. And so long story short, I'm doing this video because this is what I will be watching tonight. Will Bitcoin do once again what it did yesterday and today, which was this swing high to swing low, and Bitcoin broke this resistance, right? So we didn't put in that speculative right shoulder. Is the same thing going to happen now? This neckline right here, are we going to see resistance here and form a right shoulder? Or is the same thing that happened yesterday going to happen? Bitcoin breaks above and we start seeing at least support here. That's bullish. We want to see that continuing to happen because what we start seeing form on the charts is just this higher high, higher low type of setup for Bitcoin. And that shows strong momentum for the bulls in terms of continuation to the upside, a strong move to the upside, which is what a lot of people obviously want. If you're long on Bitcoin right now, you want that, especially $500 below 30,000. It's like, come on, Bitcoin, make that move. And so what we're looking for, and what we're really looking for actually, is a move like this. Now, this was the first touch to this upper trend line, right? Quick swing low, and this happened very quick, but there was a formation of what we see here. Quick swing low, and then we put just a nice bounce off of this lower trend line through that Fibonacci resistance is what we're tracking now. Same type of deal, but Bitcoin blew through it, and we actually hit the 1618 higher high targets. So what we're looking for is Bitcoin to make a similar move now on this new Fibonacci retracement. So let me grab the Fibonacci and let's chart it. Swing high to swing low, and the swing low is the bottom trend line. We're looking for Bitcoin to make just this next move at least to $30,400. And even still, with a move like that, Bitcoin obviously still kind of far away from that upper trend line up here of this ascending broadening wedge, and that's okay. But we want to start seeing these stronger moves at higher highs and higher lows for Bitcoin. And in terms of what that looks like from a price range perspective, we're looking at right around a 3% move. So everybody, that is like, it could happen in like 1 minute. And so that is so attainable. So when you're looking at this upper trend line on an hourly chart, it looks far, but we're talking it's just a 7% day for Bitcoin. We can start talking about a breakout to the upside, $33,000 target to the upside. This would be around almost a $4,000 move for Bitcoin from where it is right now. Altogether, if it hit a target, we're talking about 12% move. This can happen. A few $1,000 move, $4,000 move can happen very quickly in this new environment of Bitcoin that we are in. I should say at the same time, we are testing this resistance on the Fibonacci retracement. And you can see right now Bitcoin literally in this hourly candle testing this resistance. Now this resistance is 29,000, let's call it 500 to right around 29,300. An extremely small range of support. And then the true test for Bitcoin, if this resistance, I should say a small range of resistance, but if this resistance fails, Bitcoin comes back down to this trend line, $29,050 or so, and you can give it a little bit more, 29,000, 28,900. It's still kind of a higher low from this swing low, but if Bitcoin tests this area, remember, that's a critical area for Bitcoin because we have a target to the downside in the 27,000s. So we're closer to this trend line than we are to this upper trend line. So you have to keep that in mind. Target to the downside in the 27,000s. And if you zoom out on this chart, once again, I talked about this in yesterday's video, I think Bitcoin has done this. These are these $1,000 moves. Bitcoin's been breaking all-time highs, but it's really been grappling with these $1,000 areas. You can see back here, it consolidated and did it. Right here, it consolidated and kind of made these $1,000 moves. So if it's going to do it again, it could totally hit this previous breakthrough 28,000 and go into the 27,000s for consolidation. And we're kind of just consolidating, requiring more patience before continuation to the upside. So that's what I'm watching for Bitcoin. Obviously, I know I'm like you, everybody. I want just that strong move of consolidation to the upside, or not consolidation to the upside, a breakout to the upside. I'm not so excited about this longer playing out of consolidation, but Bitcoin does it so often, we have to be prepared for it. So that's what we're looking at. Those are our targets. That's the pattern we're looking at. But remember, Bitcoin, there's a story to tell for consolidation sideways, maybe letting this ocean, this 50-day moving average, catch up to Bitcoin a little bit. So let's see what happens in the coming hours. Really curious to see how this plays out. Really curious to see. And let me just zoom in here one more time. This chart is so messy. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Let's just see if Bitcoin can break through this very short-term resistance. I mean, we are right there at that 786 line. We're right below it. If Bitcoin can break above there, start seeing hourly closes, that would be a good sign for Bitcoin. Or is a right shoulder right here going to form? Time will tell. It's what I'm tracking tonight. I'm sure I'll give you an update tomorrow. Wow, I didn't think this was going to be a 15-minute video. If you're still here, thank you. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.